Hello! So we're really going off topic today because I'm doing an unboxing video of the Aorus FO48U 4K OLED 48-inch gaming monitor. And what does that have to do with cars, you might ask? Well, if you stick around for a minute, I'll explain how this came to be. I did not intend to do this today, but, well, let me just get into it. So last week, I did the behind the scenes here in my office, where we are again today. And I showed you my, I kind of showed you my system. I didn't really tell you about it. Well, let me tell you about it now. So 2 years ago, this was the spring of 2019, like March 2019, I upgraded my system. I got an NZXT with, I have to look, an Intel i9 9900K, which at the time was the fastest processor available. And it has a EVGA GeForce RTX 2080 Ti video card. And I got this really cool Acer gaming monitor, 38-inch ultra-wide curved, the XR382 CQK, 3840 by 1600, 1 millisecond response time, only 75 hertz refresh rate. But at the time, it was a pretty good deal for under $1,000. So I got this for gaming, clearly. And that went along fine until, remember we had that pandemic thing? Well, then I all of a sudden had to become a video editor because I had to start recording my videos. And as I mentioned last week, I created this studio here in my office where I have my Canon 90D up here, and I have my green screen backdrop over here. And oh, and when I present for my presentations, I stand about here in front of the camera, and then I can read the slides off of the screen here. After I recorded the video last week, I had to make a new set of videos for school because, it's a new semester, and I went back and looked, and some of my videos are a little, getting dated, so you have to go back and replace and redo them and take out the references to President Trump and put in President Biden, that kind of stuff. Anyway, well, there was some small print on some of the slides, and and by the way, as you can see, it's only about 6 feet. I'm standing about 6 feet away. I was having trouble reading some of the stuff. Now, also, by the way, over the past, year and a half since I started doing videos, this has been my video editing system. And by the way, the wide is fantastic for editing timelines, but the height, you don't get it. When you have the timeline where you can work with it, well, then the video is smaller. If you get the video big, then the timeline's tiny. So you have those kind of problems. But it was all right. But that very night, after I'd had those trouble reading the screen, Linus Tech Tips, which I will link up here. Is it over here? I can never remember. I will link up here somewhere. Linus Tech Tips did a video about this monitor, this 48-inch OLED gaming monitor, 4K. And I went, 4K OLED, which, by the way, I've always wanted. And by the way, 4K, it's going to be about this wide, but it's going to be, of course, longer this way. So I watched Linus's video, and he was fairly gung-ho about the monitor, and so I watched it. And then, of course, like you do, I watched all the other videos on YouTube that I could find. Now, this is a relatively new monitor. I mean, it just came out, like, I don't know, recently, like the last few weeks. So there aren't a lot of videos on it about YouTube. Well, there's videos describing it, but there aren't videos of people who've actually had it. So Linus was one of the first ones. But he convinced me, and I looked, and so Well, I ordered one. And it's on its way. It'll be here today. So I'm going to do an unboxing video and set it up. But I'm doing this now before it gets here because I'm going to have to completely reconfigure this desk to make room for it. Because as you can see, my monitor sits on this riser, which is perfect for this little short monitor. But the 4K monitor, because it's going to be so much longer, I can't have it up that high. It's going to have to start down low. So I'm going to have to move this monitor riser back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back under the PC, which will lift the PC up and make it a little more visible, bigger thing. And then so this will be pushed back, and then I'll have room to put the monitor here, and the legs, which stick out behind it about yay far, can slide up under this. So the legs won't really be a problem. I can push it far enough back. Problem with a big monitor like that, 4K monitor this size, is you kind of have to sit farther away, and I need to sit farther away than I'm sitting from this one. So I'm going to push the monitor back, and then I'm going to rearrange a bunch of stuff. So right now, I'm going to go away, and then by the magic of video, I'm going to come back, and there's going to be a giant box sitting here with my monitor in it. Well, it might be tomorrow. UPS says it's going to be today, but anyway, I'll be back momentarily. Hello, welcome back. As I said, you've just been gone a minute. You can tell that I have cleaned off everything off the desk. So, and here is the box. I will edit this down. You're not going to have to watch the whole. Okay, now I know from watching Linus's video that this is if you can see down at the bottom, it's got the little things like when you get a big screen TV, they have the little things to lift the box off. But I know from watching Linus's video that there's also stuff at the top that you need to take out first. So you have to open up the top. Well, in fact, once you open the top, it says, wait, after you've done taking out the stuff on top, do the things down below. So what's up top? Oh, there's a leg. There's a remote. Batteries for the remote, and I assume those are screws for the little legs. Okay. Apparently it comes with a European power cord, so I don't have anything that plugs in like that. This looks like an HDMI cable. This is the DisplayPort cable. This is a USB 3.0 cable, because the thing also has a USB hub in it. Okay, here's another power cord. Looks like this one's for British, for 220. And here's an American power cord. So basically, it gives you 3 power cords. It gives you one with our normal kind of 2-prong with the ground plug, the 3-prong. Then it's got the 3-prong 220 like they use in England. And then it had this, that first one I pulled out was, I don't know what that was. Have you ever seen anything like that? Never seen anything like that, personally. Okay, and then over here we have the other little foots. And now, well, let me look on my instructions. Undo these little gadgets. There you go. Pop that one off. Pop that one off. Yep. I'm standing here so it won't fall over towards me. And I have the chair behind it so it won't fall over that. Wait, look! This thing is like less than like a 1/4 of an inch thick on top. It's an OLED flat panel. Okay. I'll lay it down on the desk with the feet sticking out. Apparently there's a left and a right because this one did not go in far enough for me to line up the screw holes, but this one does. And so we will screw that screw on. Yeah, definitely. The legs are left and right. They are not. They each have a only way they only go because the screws holes did not line up at the other end. Okay. So now I want to stand it up. And turn it around. And then it's going to slide down this way. Because I want it to be about centered in the desk. And now I'm ready. Oh my goodness. That is a big TV. Well, monitor, it's not a TV. Now, the power is on this end, which is good because it's down here, which apparently means that my I/O is all at the other end, which is not as good because the PC's over here, but the cables will be hidden for the most part. Oh, look how this rips off. Isn't that fancy? Now I need my American power cord. DisplayPort cable, it has to reach from there to there, so we should be fine on that. The cord is so short, I don't have to do any cable management because it's in the air all the way. I mean, it barely hangs down. It's just long enough to reach from there to there. I'm not a big fan of their cables. Okay, so we have power. We're plugged into power. There we go. Holy mother of pearl. By the way, now you all know what day of the week it is and what time it is that I'm putting this in. So yes, UPS got here right before 5. They said they'd deliver by 5:15, and they were 20 minutes early. Okay. So we take the keyboard. There we go. Okay. By the way, this program is called Wallpaper Engine. It's available on Steam. It's like $4. And then there's like thousands of video wallpapers that it will play for you in 4K. In fact, I just went in and selected 4K. Show me the 4K ones. And I had like, I went through at least 20 pages of, I don't know, 30 or 40 each. And selected a bunch, and I particularly like this one. But anyway, but let's see, why did I buy this? I bought it for DaVinci Resolve. Oh, right away. On the old monitor, it would have like 4 to pick from. Now I have dozens. Let me go to, okay, there is one of my videos from a while back. Carmageddon Part 2, Muscle Carmageddon. Oh, this is way better. Okay, now remember, the old monitor had the same width. It was 3840. But it was only 1600 instead of 20. So it stopped basically about here. So that the things I wanted to do, you know, the timeline was great, but it would be much smaller. In fact, I think I can show you. There we go. The timeline would have been more that size. But then the video up there would have been more that size. So yeah. So basically, this is now big enough. That is a 1920 by 1080. That is a full HD video in that window at full screen, full actual size. And yet, look at the size of the timeline I have down here to work with, so I can scrub along. And so this is gonna make editing my videos for y'all so much easier. That's way easier to work with. I can see things, and as I mentioned at the beginning, one of the reasons I impulse bought this, right? I watched a video. I had a slight issue with my monitor, then watched a video about this monitor, and then like that day I ordered this and had it shipped here. Oh, by the way, I just noticed on the box it says tactical gaming monitor. I don't know what that means. But anyway, this is again going through DisplayPort 1.4. So it drives it just fine, and as you saw, I mean, so that was one reason. One reason I got it was to make editing easier in Fusion. But another reason I bought it, when I do the screen recording, I have to do it in 1920 by 1080. Now let me see. Well, it's kind of hard to get to where I normally stand because there's all these boxes and stuff in the way. Yeah, I usually stand about here. The camera about there, yeah. Yes, I can even read the small print by Tom Tyler on January 20th, 2021, down at the bottom over here on the left. I can read this all fine. Okay, problem solved. I can read the thing from across the room, which was one of the reasons I wanted this. So anyway, so this was my unboxing. Now you've seen how long I've had it. I'm not going to do a review per se. Yeah, I am very pleased. And when I sit in my normal position here, I'm a little close. I can live with this. I can live with this. By the way, it would be a lot better if it were curved a little, like the old monitor, which I don't know if you can see it's down here on the floor. The curve would make this a lot better, but this will work. And see, I'm going to put the webcam up here, which is only going to be because remember the old monitor was sitting up on this, so it was basically the same height. A little closer to me, but the same height. So the webcam is going to be about at the same height. The regular camera is still well here. While you're here, I'll show you. I don't know if you noticed. Sometimes it's really hard to get this tripod level. I wish it had like a little bubble level in it or something. It's still slanted. So by the way, if you're listening, Manfrotto, this is a Manfrotto tripod. If Manfrotto's watching, I would really love to have a level. There. Okay. So yeah, I want to stand about, see the green screen will be to there, and I'll just miss these lights. So I crop generally to about right here. And my arm will still be in the shot, like there. And then the green screen extends. So, see, this way I wave this arm on this side, which is on the inside there. So I can point at things and do things. And this arm, if I can wave it, but it goes off screen. But yeah, the camera's right there. This is and my scripts for my classes, my slides will be on the screen, that big giant screen now, considerably larger than the screen I had. And I'll be able to read them. So, all in all, so far, I'm very well pleased. Now, by the way, I linked to the Linus Tech Tips video where he goes through and runs a lot of tech specs and stuff that it's 120, well here, where's that little thing I tore off? It's all written on here. UHD, 120 hertz, refresh rate, OLED, HDMI with BRR plus ALLM, don't know what that means. DCI P3. Oh, they're very proud of the color space. This thing does 98% of the DCI P3 color space. Black equal game assist. Again, this is the LG OLED panel that, I mean, you've been able to buy for some time now in a TV, the 48-inch TV, smart TV from LG. But this is that panel, except now it has gaming guts instead of TV guts. So it doesn't have any TV functions. It has no Netflix. It has none of that. It's not a smart TV. It's just a monitor. But it has things like Game Assist, OSD Sidekick, HDR mode, and apparently I tore off part of it here. An aim stabilizer. I guess that's for gaming. 6-axis color control. Oh, and 1 millisecond gray to gray on the pixel response. And two things you worry about as a gamer is frames, your frame rate, your hertz. So, oh, and it has FreeSync or what? G-Sync. I think it has G-Sync and FreeSync. But so it'll match the hertz to your frame rate. So if as long as your frame rate is between like, I think 50 and 120, because it only goes to 120. So there's the setting. You have it on game. It's got black equalizer, super resolution. Oh wait, there we go. Picture, green. Linus in his video pointed out he tried all the, go watch his video. He messes around with it a lot more. And he knows what he's doing. I don't really know what I'm doing. But green mode apparently is the best picture. Especially if you're a gamer. Oh, I have this remote now too. What does it do? Oh, yeah. So you've seen it. It's pretty good. Again, you can also go watch Linus and he'll tell you some more stuff about it. He doesn't run any benchmarks. I'm not going to... This is not a tech channel. This is a car channel. So, and I know I told you I'd be doing cars this week, and well, this happened. Not my fault. External influences. But come back next week, and we'll finally get back to the cars. I got some stuff to put on to Stormtrooper. I have some things I want to do to the Veloster. I have an idea for a fun video with the dash cams, which I'll do in the next few weeks. It'll be a surprise. But it will, well, actually, clearly it will involve driving the car, because the car will be moving with the dash cams. But I have I think a fun idea. We'll see. You'll probably hate it, but anyway, we're going to do that. So, I hope you enjoyed my lame unboxing of a really fantastic monitor. By the way, these just came out. They're $1,500, so well, $14.99. Now, Newegg is doing a promotion with $100 off. I went, oh, well, I click on the promotion. And then when you go to the thing, it says, it says, send me emails about deals and stuff. Well, when I turned that off, it says, oh, well, then you can't have the promotion. You can only have that promotion if you give them your email address to send you crap. Spam. Well, I was paying with PayPal, which means the email address they were getting was my PayPal email. I do not want spam on my PayPal email. So I had to pay an extra $100 to avoid spam. So shame on you, Newegg. Shame on you. By the way, I don't know how this is going to look after I edit it in here, because I'm doing something new. I'm using the two DJI Osmo Actions, but I have them in 4K. because I was watching a video on YouTube and it said, well, if you use 4K, if you shoot in 4K, even if you're going to upload in 1080p, one of the things you can do is zoom in without loss of detail, because you can basically get up to double size, because 1080p is 4K is four, you know what I mean. If you divide a 4K like into quadrants, each quadrant is 1080p. So I'm going to try, so instead of getting these long, oh, apparently it does a little auto dimming again to prevent burn-in. But then when you move the mouse, it doesn't come back. Yeah, if you read about this monitor, this is one of the things people complain about, is the picture is constantly changing. Of course, to avoid burn-in, I'm kind of willing to put up with it. But again, not a tech channel. I'm not going to be talking about the monitor probably ever again. Well, someday. I told you someday I'll do, well, I kind of showed you already how I use Camtasia and DaVinci Resolve. Wait, so I don't actually have to do that video unless I really scrape the bottom of the barrel and have nothing to do, then I can show you how to edit. But anyway, where was I? I was saying goodbye. That's where I was. I do this a lot, don't I? I can't finish. I'm not. Oh, but I can zoom in. So last week I thought when I had the camera over here at a different angle than it's at today, it was more straight on. I was too small in the frame. It was too far away. But now doing it in 4K, see, I could zoom in a little. So I'll be able to experiment. So I'm gonna. You saw on this when I booted up that it's Friday. I have, and it was about 5 o'clock. It's heading towards 6 o'clock now. I upload my videos 6 o'clock on Sundays. So I have 48 hours to edit, to fool around in DaVinci Resolve and try zooming in and things. And again, I have 2 cameras, so I can try cutting between the camera. I can do some cuts and some things. So this video is going to be more edit heavy than any video I've ever done, basically. But I think you'll like it. And if you don't, let me know. And I'll never do this again. By the way, we're not going to be back in the office probably for a long, long time. The fun thing is, I told my students, I had a Zoom class last night, and I told my students, if you want to see the office where I'm doing the Zoom classes from, go watch last week's video, because remember, we were in the office. And now this week's video, because we'll be in the office again. Anyway, I've rambled on way too much. Thank you. Thanks for coming by. Come by again next week. We'll get back to cars at long last. And this time, even if I come up with something else that's not cars, I won't do it next week. I will do it after a few car videos, because I know you're here for the cars. We'll get back to the cars next week. This was just an aside because I wanted to share with you my happy... Look at it. It's gorgeous. Look at the size of that. 48 inches. That is a good-sized monitor to have in front of you on your desk, especially when you're an old man and have bad eyes. Anyway, bye-bye. See you next week. We'll talk about cars.